Hmm. Hello. Um, just waiting for some people to come, and in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and play the singing bowl to get us started, and then use rattle to call in the warrior energy. Hi, John. You made it. Welcome. Awesome. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And congratulations on your new home. Thank you. I try to start out with some singing bowl stuff. I think it helps mellow the mood and calm the energies a bit. But the warrior's instrument is the rattle, which this is a rain stick. The rattle basically is our connection and sound that assimilates the rain and brings our soul, parts of our soul that are fragmented, back to us, which I will go into in a little bit here. Since I have you here, we're about 5 minutes in. I know like the energies have been intense. Thank you. We were just putting the future in its right place. Yes. Thank you. I got that a long time ago from a woman who grew up with my mom. She came up here to Tahoe to visit, and she wanted to get me and my siblings a little something, and I had asked for a rain stick. So I've had that rain stick for probably about 25 years now, I want to say. I love it. It's basically what it is they take a cactus. I don't know, a certain type of cactus. I'm not sure what kind of cactus, actually. I'm thinking it's the ones that grow really long. And they cut off all the spines. And as it dries out, some of the spines are trapped inside, which makes the sound that it makes. Because over the years, a few have fallen out because on the edges of it, there's little parts that kind of stick out almost. And basically what they were are the spines of the cactus. Let's see. No, it's not going to let me. Sometimes I can pull one out to show people what they kind of look like, but we kind of have an idea what a cactus spine is. Hi, Charlotte. Thank you for coming. I'm so happy you could make it. John, Charlotte, John. John's my friend from Scotland, and Charlotte is my dear friend from England. You guys are neighbors. This is awesome. Hi, Sarah. Caught the end of this. Your hair looks gorgeous. Actually, you haven't caught the end of it. You've actually started at the beginning of it. So I'm super excited and really happy that Charlotte gets to meet some of the Soul family. She's definitely part of this Soul family as well. So this is super exciting. Yay! I'm so delighted. But anyway, we are going into The Way of the Warrior Part 2. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to watch the Part 1 or the introduction. We're going into the empowerment tools of the warrior. Just to give you guys kind of a brief overlook, the way of the warrior, the direction is north, the element is air. Creatures are all winged creatures, birds, bats, anything that has wings. Human resource is power. And power is a touchy thing because it depends on how you use that power to be able to embrace the way of the warrior. Your meditation is standing for this way of living is right action. The 4-way fold is to show up or be present. The healing salve is dancing. The instrument is the rattle. And hi, Fairy, welcome. We've got our European friends here from Scotland and England. So Fairy, Charlotte is a good friend of mine. I've known her for many years. Charlotte, Fairy, Charlotte's a dear friend of mine that I've had for a few years now from England. So hopefully she'll be able to start coming to the Fairy Fridays at 8, which is every Friday at 8, which would be awesome. Pacific Standard Time, of course, if you could do that. But I know you guys have different hours than we do, so that would be an early morning for you. The season of the warrior is winter. So our tools of empowerment for the warrior is soul retrieval work, basically calling back in the soul. The rattle helps us do this. It's something that most all of us are given as infants or babies, which helps us to call in the fragmented parts of our soul, the pieces that are lost, the pieces that we've closed off, and we have to call back in, if that makes any sense. Also, dancing is part of it. Dancing helps claim your power. A standing meditation, they recommend that you do this with your eyes open, kind of focusing on a distant point, which helps you empower yourself and be aware of your surroundings. So then that way, when you do make your decisions, they're to better you and those around you. The animals or I already said winged creatures, and birds especially. And I had 3 ravens in my backyard this morning. They were huge. Oh my gosh. They're just beautiful creatures. But it also helps you to understand your power animal, which is one that you're drawn to. And it also helps you to, when you are going through your meditations or soul work or astral projection, they protect you while protect your physical being while you are on your journey. And they also work along with the helping allies. And some native traditions, they do totem poles, and the power animal is the one that's at the bottom. And then the helping allies are the animals that are above. So also to mention, don't just focus on one animal. You can have multiple power animals, but the one that relates to your soul is the one that comes across you all the time. And one of my raven friends just flew by. So, but you do have, especially in shamanic traditions, and some other traditions, you have a spirit guide or spirit animal for each direction: north, east, south, and west. So part of the work is realizing, like, when your soul is lost, you go through bouts of depression, disheartenment, and your spirit is low. And you want to build these things up, because not only does it give you self-power, it gives you self-enlightenment, it gives you grounding, it gives you self-love, and so much more. The uses of the rattle is cleansing and purifying the soul, as well as calling it in, to bring those fragmented parts back. And I know, John, you've been dealing with a lot of that with your calling upon your powers to come back to you. So it might be a good idea for you to get a rattle for sure and work with that, or maybe get a rain stick and bless your new home with it. So let's see. Thank you, guys. I have raven friends at my work. They hang out at the depot. That's cool. In the winter months, it's funny because they do come to me all the time. Like, I have one, I go out to have my morning coffee and just envelop the outdoors and what we're truly a part of, which is nature. And I have one that comes and he talks to me every morning. It's so sweet. Also, with the rattle's uses, it also assists in visionary work, and it helps us to remember our whole self instead of just what we're aware of in the present moment. It calls in those other parts to complete us. The dancing part of it is subconsciously and consciously, it is who we are. The experience of the spirit and matter of the soul. It helps us to feel confident within ourselves, within the human form, consciously and unconsciously, and creates that healing of the self-love and the self-empowerment and being aware of our surroundings. And then it also helps with fluidity, grace, creativity, definition and refinement, synchronicity and integration, contentment and peace. It also helps you to be comfortable with these 5 senses. Because I don't know about you guys, but me, I do know that like after I've danced or done some sort of exercise, because even exercise is a form of dancing. Going for a walk is also a form of dancing. I know like I can relate to back when I was younger, like maybe in my 20s, where like I'd go to a concert or whatever and I'd be shy about dancing, but like the dancing is self-expression. It sets you free. It helps you to be confident because you don't really want to like, it's just the way you move, your body moves, and the actions that help empower you. And it also gets you over that fear of thinking about what everybody else thinks on how you're dancing. So, like even martial arts is a form of dancing. If you look into different exercises, if you look into different kinds of postures and forms, and you integrate them and look at them on a deeper level, you can see that they all relate to dancing in some way or another. And it's calls in that key, which is your universal life force energy, or the universal life force energy that we all have, we all share, we use for healing and helping others as well. Then we go on to the standing meditation. That is the power of presence and communication and position. It's the art of full power of self. This is common in martial arts and other spiritual practices and the military, because you see the soldiers, they line up and they do their routines, like with the when they do marching and stuff like that, and then they stand still like during some sort of a ceremony that is actually, whether they realize it or not, they are doing a form of meditation of the warrior way. My Chris works with weights a lot. It helps him raise his vibration and it always feels great afterwards. I can dance too, but I sing. Yay, singing is good too. That helps for sure. It definitely lightens the heart. It helps your mood. It's a good way of releasing and drawing in that positive life force energy. Also, with the standing meditation, it reinforces the three universal powers of presence, communication, and position. Yes, both John and Ferry sing. I don't know if you've ever watched any of John Benny's videos, Charlotte, but he does a song every day and he gets that song from source. Definitely going to start doing the Shakate dance healing again soon. That's good. You have grown a lot since we've been working with the self-love too. You helping me and I helping you, Fairy. Power animals and helping allies. The animal is the one we identify the most through dreams, meditation, and journey work. The animal guards and protects our physical being. It also is our helping allies. So like I said, there's can be more than one animal. So I want that to be clear, because people that I have worked with in the past are like, well, I see more animals than just the one. And it's like, yeah, that's okay. You don't have to just focus on one animal, but the main protector is the one that comes to you the most. Like right now for me, and they can change during each season too. So don't worry, it's okay. It's just part of our lessons, our healing, our sharing our gifts, and our knowledge with others. Because after I did the work with Fairy last Sunday, after our hypno session, I had a squirrel try to bring me a corn chip, which was weird. I was sitting outside and this squirrel comes up to me with a perfect little triangular corn chip in his mouth. And then about an hour and a half later, as I come home, the coyotes are usually not out during the day up here, even especially in the wintertime. But I turned the corner from the main highway onto the street to get into my neighborhood, and a coyote comes out of the field, because the field is right next to the street there. And he stands like right next to my car as I'm passing by and like looks me directly in the eyes. So right now I have the ravens and the coyotes and the squirrels that are talking to me a lot right now. So they're helping me. They are my power animals and my helping allies. My main power animal is the unicorn. I love unicorns ever since I was small. So, and and that comes along with being mostly Scottish descent, I think. So, which is pretty awesome. Okay, we're good. Thank you. It help the power animal and the helping allies help us with transition, growth, and deepening. They assist with our daily tests or challenges that we go through every day. Sometimes we just have to take a step back and ask or even look up, because all the information's there. We live in a day and age where we can find any information we want, which is so inspiring. So you can look up what that animal represents on like a shamanic level or a Celtic level or whatever relates to you. They also coincide with our chakras and energy center work. They help us to connect with our own healing, because we have our own healing. Working a lot with Reiki and the energies that I've worked with recently, and learning the Reiki energies, and it definitely opens you up, and you do have the power to heal yourself. Like Fairy has said, like when she awoke and started embracing that side of her, you do have the capability and the power to heal yourself and heal all areas of your life. You just have to put the intention there. The warrior's connection to nature. It's important to spend at least an hour a day outside. No, sometimes that can be difficult, but even if you just go outside and feel the energy of the planet, the wind, the water, whatever's going on, you don't have to stand out in the rain if you don't want to, but you could stand under a covering or an umbrella or something and just feel your surroundings. It also connects us to the past, present, and future. A lot of beliefs, they use a tree, which the tree would be our past, our heritage, our connection to our ancestors. And then the trunk is the present us, the solidarity. And it shows the present life forces and spirit where it is or is not engaged. The branches are our goals, dreams, desires. They honor the past, present, and future. Also, with the branches, either they fruit or they don't fruit, or have flowers. And that's okay if you're going through a meditation and envisioning that tree of yourself. It's okay if it doesn't have leaves or has leaves or has flowers or it has fruit. Those items represent your desires, your goals, and your dreams of the future. It also is partial to season, so it may change in each season of each direction of each year. It also represents the sky, the four winds, sun, moon, stars. And when you're doing this warrior meditation and connecting with nature, a lot of different peoples, they may use hand positionings, which is common in Reiki. It's common in other indigenous people's beliefs, but usually it's one hand over the heart and another over at the bottom of the rib cage. And you just kind of focus, stand there for about 15 minutes a day. And it helps you ground with the earth and center your soul with being present, being respectful of others, going and helping yourself and others, because that is part of the warrior, is having respect for yourself and the other elements around you, is what it ultimately comes down to. There is the dark side of that, which is the shadow aspects, which could be the rebel, which at first they seem like the independent one, the one who is the leader of the pack. But ultimately, that rebel, if he continues to, or she continues to be self-absorbed and only making choices that benefit them, ultimately it ends up turning them into a narcissist, which is not good because they're losing respect for themselves, they're losing respect for others, and they are not holding themselves in that higher vibration, which is the way of the warrior. There's also authority issues. So some people that believe that they're following this path, but they really aren't, they're over idealistic. Sorry, I like having a hard time too. I think it's the energy right now with the words. They compete for their position. We're not here to compete with each other. We're here to live and learn. We're here to respect others. We're here to respect other life, whether it be animal, plant, or the planet. Then they also choose not to take responsibility for their actions. They try to blame others. They're the ones with judgment. It's not our place to judge anybody. It's just not in the cards. Even though it happens, it just means that they have not yet grown into their position. They also have a tendency to attack people, or they come up with this drastic idea, and then, like, even though they may be at fault, they play the victim like it's somebody else's fault. Or how could this happen to me, instead of standing up and taking credit for what they did wrong, because ultimately that is the lesson that needs to be taught. That's why they're playing the victim, because they choose not to learn that lesson. Also, another way of the shadow part of the warrior is invisibility. People giving their ideas to other people who they feel are authoritative, but they either sit on their tailcoats, or they give them the ideas instead of speaking up and using their own ideas, which does not vibrate your soul as much as it would if you use those ideas and express those ideas. So we do have some reminders. Spend 15 minutes each day in a standing meditation. Spend at least an hour outside every day. Even if you can't make it an hour, just time outside is helpful, because when we're children, we spend so much more time outside than we do today because we have work or other things going on, especially today with the world and what's going on with it. Or I should say, the lives on the planet. Then spend time with the rattle, doing the rattle work, calling your soul back. Oh, that's awesome, John. That's a good thing. And Charlotte, I'm sure you spend time at least an hour a day outside with the kids. So, Fairy, time to get outside a little bit more. I don't know if you're out with the kids or not. Yes, I feel you, John. I love outside time, but right now it's a little cold up here. So, Spend time reflecting on you handled situations that happened each day. See how you can better those situations, or look at different angles of those situations on a different outcome that could be taken, or even a better option to do next time you are in that situation. Because sometimes events in that, they just come out of the blue and you have no control over them. It's not what you're expecting, but it does happen. Spend time honoring your animal spirit and the helping allies. And lastly, which I'm going to read out of the book here in just a moment. I did want to read this. This is from R.L. Wing's translation of the Tao of Power. To know the absolute is to be tolerant. What is tolerant becomes impartial. What is impartial becomes powerful. What is powerful becomes natural. What is natural becomes Tao, which Tao is your personal power. And then I have like some questions that you could ask yourself when you have a moment. Let's see. Let's catch up. That's awesome, Sarah. Thank you. Yes, true. Yes, I walk the dog for an hour, 40 minutes on the country, and an hour, and then run for 40 minutes in the evening. Yes, that's awesome. I can't run because of my knees and just being too athletic when I was younger. I took lots of spills. So, yeah, I do what I can though. And then surrounded by pavement and parks are closed, so we don't get out much. It's tough. Yeah, I bet it is, Fairy. Even if you don't even have to, like, even though you're surrounded by the pavement and the parks are closed, just to get out your front door and be in the elements will help. Yeah, Chris and I have to be outside with the kids. We try and see what birds we can see and try to find pretty leaves to bring home. That's awesome. That is super awesome. Someday I will get over that way and check out those beautiful spaces both you and John live in. The summary of the archetype of the warrior is leadership, coming into our leadership skills by staying in our power, showing up and choosing to be present, extending honor, respect, and being responsible and accountable. Warrior empowerment tools: rattle, dancing, standing meditation, power animals, and helping allies, connect to nature, chanting, postures. Shadow aspect: rebellion, authority issues, patterns of invisibility, hiding or holding back, working behind the scenes, riding coattails of powerful people. Warrior's way leadership skills: to honor and respect, to align words with actions, to respect limits and boundaries, to be responsible and disciplined, to demonstrate right use of power. 3 don'ts of leadership. Nature metaphors attributed to the direction of the north: Father Sky, 4 winds, the sun, moon, and stars, birds, the winged creatures, and tree people. The 3 universal powers: presence, communication, and position. And then some questions for later if you would like to ask yourself or just contemplate or think about I'll try to summarize them because there's like 15 of them. Is the good, true, and beautiful within me as strong as the whispers of diminishment? Where in my life did I stop dancing? Where in my life did I stop singing? Where in my life did I stop being chanted with stories? Who are the leaders and people who have carried the warrior spirit, who have inspired me and have been sources of empowerment in history and in contemporary times? Who are the people who have acknowledged me for my leadership skills? Who are the people who have chosen me to be fellow team players? What have been my greatest challenges? How have I handled these challenges? Of the three universal powers, which are developed and which are undeveloped? What specific leadership skill do I have? How am I currently demonstrating these skills with my family, within my creativity, within my work life? Where do I lose my power? What particular people or situations ignite my lack of courage? Where do I stand up for myself? Stand on my own 2 feet, take a stand, and know what it is I cannot stand. Again, glitchy in his triggers. What triggers you? How can you fix that? Sorry, had to throw that in there. What parts of myself are currently at war with each other? What is the major conflict that I am experiencing in my life? Where do I create misunderstandings in my life? Do I say what I mean? Do I do what I say? How do I respond when there's too much to do? How do I respond when there's nothing to do? In what ways do I extend honor and respect to myself and others? Am I aware of my own limits and boundaries? Do I honor and respect the limits and boundaries of others? In what area of my life do I see myself as responsible and accountable? In what areas of my life am I disciplined? In what areas of my life do I see myself responsible and accountable? What is my connection to nature and to animals? Do I spend at least 1 full hour outdoors every day? Even if you break that one up into 15-minute segments, it is helpful. And it doesn't mean you have to go out to the woods or to a park. Of the 3 shadow aspects of the warrior, what patterns of invisibility have I explored? In what parts of my life have I been a rebel? In what parts of my life have I had authority issues? In what parts of my life have I experienced being the victim? And once you give those questions light, it makes it easier to heal those aspects of your life and become in that warrior position. Okay, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Can't get enough of nature, surrounded by pavement and parks. Okay, I'm past that. Yeah, my Chris and I have to. Okay, I've read that. Sorry. Thank you, John. Trigger trauma shadows. LOL. Sneaky little ninjas. Yes, they are. So, yeah, so there's a synchronicity there with me, Fairy, and Glitch all talking about triggers and synchronizing with those triggers, embracing them. How can you fix them? How can you empower yourself to become better so you can raise your vibration? What is happening on the 21st? The 21st is the winter solstice, which is technically the first day winter or Yule. We are having a opening. A porthole is opening once again. It's also my wedding anniversary. And it's going to help us embrace the lineup of Saturn and Jupiter with the sun. And we are going to be opening up a new age. So that's my feeling on it. I haven't read a whole lot about it or looked into it on the planetary level. Yeah, it's the shortest day and longest night of the year as well. Yay, it's a date. But yeah, it's basically also what coincides with December 21st. Part of that is and this kind of relates to the biblical aspect of it, is the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd. Those are the 3 darkest days of our year, which, if you go and you take it a step back and look at the Bible, because there are pieces that are true, but some of the tales have been altered, of course, like everything gets altered in history as stories we tell get altered by different people. It's like the whole line of gossip, like somebody gossips and here's the original truth, and then it changes form as it gets passed along down time. But basically, those are the 3 days that they refer to as there being no light, which is right around Yule. And then it's also the rebirth of the sun. The Egyptians believe that the sun in the sky, that is the Son of God. So on the 3rd day, the sun is reborn. So that there is the Son of God. Because it dies and then it's reborn. Celtic tradition, it's the god Cernunnos. He is the god of fertility, life, and death and rebirth. So the solstice is really a main honorance of him. I've studied kind of little eclectic pieces through different spiritual backgrounds, and different belief systems and historical stuff as well. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting because you got to kind of research and look at different parts of history of people's belief systems, because there's truths in all of them. So that makes me very eclectic. Yeah, he's one of my ancestors for sure. They say that he was one of the first kings of Scotland as well. Because if you go to the Celtic version of the creation of life. It was actually, or Druidic, it actually consisted of 2 gods and 2 goddesses. And they were placed in separate areas of the continents. And they represented the elements of fire, air, earth, and water. And they believed that we came in existence through them, which just, like I said, stuff gets altered. It's just what you feel in your heart. Intention is the key to anything. And I haven't read that story for a while. Please don't forget to like. I want to thank you all for coming, but I'll have to get in. Do you know which way for? For what? Fairy? I'm not sure. For you'll have to explain a little bit more. Totally got chills when you said Caranonis. I don't remember what element he represents. This is something that I studied probably about 5 or 6 years ago that I read up on. So, the 2 gods and the 2 goddesses. I know Caranonis is one. I know Queen Maeve is another one. And then I want to say it's Diana. And I don't remember the other god because he's not as well known. Like I said, what I'll have to do is look back through my books, skim through all of them. At least I got it narrowed down to at least 10 because, like, I've got books, more books, and then I have like a 5 shelf tier of books, but at least I can narrow it down to like 10 books. I think it's my Druidism books that it was in. So, like I said, it was a while back ago. I can email you when I find out which 2 gods and 2 goddesses for sure. But I'm positive on Caranonis, Maeve, and Diana. It's just I don't remember the other god's name. But I know that they have to do with Celtic Druidism. So, and I could probably even find it in my Celtic Myth and Legend book right here. This is like my most used book out of all of them, I want to say. Just because it relates so much to shamanism and so many other belief systems for sure. So, but I do want to say thank you for coming. Diana is my favorite goddess. I think that stems from my favorite trilogy, the All Souls trilogy. Ooh, that's something I'll have to look up. But I want to thank everyone for coming. I appreciate you guys. Send love and light. Namaste to everyone and have a good afternoon.